if this thing now is working. I'm on the chat with YouTube, and yeah. So can you guys hear me and see me? Somebody said thumbs up. All right. Before I get off the chat with these folks, I need to know if you guys can hear me and if it's working. It's been timing out, and I don't know why. So it says sign out, sign back in. So it appears to be working. Let's see. Can y'all hear me? Said, oh crap, I forgot. All right, let's see if it's working or not. Yeah, it looks like the timer is working. I see people on. I'm going to reply to him. Let's see. Not getting notifications. Just slide that in there. There we go. All right. I still can't see you guys responding to me, so I don't know if it's working or not. All right. So I need you guys. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to type this in too. Somebody chat something in there for me. Let's see. Hey, hugs, Kev. So y'all can see me and hear me. All right. Loud and clear. I'm seeing the chats over here, but I'm not seeing the chats up here. Let's see. So I'm going to let the YouTube man know that too. All right. Also, I can't see the users chatting. So now, yeah. Don't know what's up with that. All right. I see you guys typing over here, but I'm not seeing you type over here. Do you have the screenshot? Oh. No, I ain't got the screenshot. You know what? I'll have to finish troubleshooting later. Audience is waiting. Thank you. Bam. All right. Well, maybe that might have cleared some up. If you're chatting, I have to look over here and check it out from there because unfortunately, yeah, it's not working up there. So some technical difficulties in the beginning, but thanks for being patient. You never know what's going on with this crap. And considering the title of my live stream tonight, yeah, they might have said, oh no, we can't let that go. We can't let this guy get out there and talk about Kamala Chameleon and Donald Trump calling her out, questioning whether she's black or not. So before we take a deep dive into that, because see, I want to know too, especially when being black is a very important part of your campaign strategy. That's my thing. See, it wouldn't even be important for, if it wasn't a part of your campaign strategy. But when you lead in on that, I got to know now. I can't just leave that open. Okay, I can't be like, all right, maybe she's black or white when it's being thrown up in our face constantly. So we better find out the truth behind whether she's black or white or Indian or whatever. So before I do that, since y'all say you can hear me, I'm going to go ahead and get loose. All right. Now, meanwhile, boy, I wish I could see y'all chat. Live chat. Oh, I see it now. Real good. Real good. Real good. Gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here. Yeah, so they added something on there where I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I hit the little something more jigger, and then all of a sudden I was able to see y'all chats and now I can see them again. So now, you saw the title, you heard my brief introduction. Now, since that have taken me some moments, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. But don't forget, I got a Kevin's Corner store. And if you text MAGA to 330-974-4607, then I can make sure, just in case they get really, really mad at me here on YouTube, I'll at least be able to connect with y'all and let y'all know what's going on. And if you want to support the channel through my Cash App and my PayPal, you're welcome to do that as well. The links are below the videos. Now, with no further ado, there is something strange going on with Google. Now, Google owns YouTube. And Elon Musk has some questions about it. So a former, I don't know if she used to work for Fox, I don't know who she worked for, but she decided to go ahead and double check Elon's work. And look what she found. Look at this, the weirdest thing.
On Elon Musk tweet, I thought that can't possibly be true. It says that if you Google Trump rally, that something about Vice President Kamala Harris comes up. So let's see. He's right. Vice President Kamala Harris campaigns in Atlanta. It's wild. Harris holds raucous rally in Atlanta as she and Trump battle for Georgia. Why in the world, when you Google Trump rally, does it turn out to be Vice President Kamala Harris campaign? So I guess Elon Musk, he was right about that one.
Well. Absolutely, he was right about that one. For the simple fact, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked because Google is in the bag for the Democrats. I remember when Trump was running against Hillary Clinton, and I Googled all the lies that the media has told about Donald Trump. And immediately, all the lies Donald Trump has told came up. I had to go through like 15 pages to even try to find any of the lies that were told on Trump. So they set those algorithms to make sure they highlight stuff to promote who? Chameleon. Just like the fake news is promoting Chameleon. They're all working together. Now, do you see the behemoth that we are up against? Do you see the woolly mammoth we are all fighting? We're fighting against big tech. With the exception of Elon the Musk, we're fighting against fake news. We're fighting against all the entertainment, all of the things that the left has co-opted to try to promote this woman and to drag her across the finish line by giving her a makeover and covering up any type of information that one might want to know about Chameleon, scrubbing stuff off the internet. They wouldn't got their buckets. They wouldn't got some pine saw, some bleach, and went to work scrubbing all kind of history, all kind of things she might have said and done off the internet. Now, isn't that election interference? I mean, if they're willing to say, we will accommodate a political party and assist you by removing damning information off of our platforms, and even some sites that had stuff listed, then all of a sudden they just quietly try to remove it. Try to pretend they never said it or reported on it. That seems to be like some type of election interference. It seems to be a campaign contribution when you are assisting one party indirectly, trying to do it secretly and smoothly. So I'm sure YouTube will never admit it. They'll never let anybody come in and look up under the hood and see how their algorithms are set up. They won't let me do it with YouTube. They just keep giving me some gibberish about, I don't know what's going on. So it is what it is. And it's all up to us. Word of mouth. So now, with that being said, let's get into it, because the Harris and / Democrat strategy is race baiting. There it is. And yet they get mad when you talk about race. Isn't that odd? The people who major in race, who always want to talk about race, who think race is so important. Isn't that crazy? But when you say, well, then cool, let's talk about some race. Oh, wait a minute. Only in the context of you being a racist. That's the only type of race talking we want, okay? We don't want to really talk about the issues of race. We just want to label you as a racist because we're lazy. We're lazy. We ain't trying to win nobody's vote because of our policies. That's too hard. That's too much. We ain't trying to appeal to each individual's thoughts and concerns. No. We need to group all these folks together and then just label our opponent as racist, and that should cover it all. That should cover it all. And so, of course, they go right to their strategy, bringing up race, and they send out the message to all of their minions, all of the fake news commentators and stuff like that, hey, make sure you bombard Trump with issues of race. Make sure that if you get a chance to talk to him, imply that he is racist. Okay? Yeah, project to the audience that Trump is racist. Don't necessarily come out and just say, hey, Trump, I think you're racist. But every question, make sure that question revolves around issues of race. Because we got to keep it in the heads of all the bubbleheads that Trump is a racist. So let's check out the strategy and see if it backfired or not here. Because Trump went, I guess, to this black, what are they, commentators, or news anchor men and women or something like that. He went there because of all of his racism, I'm sure. He decided, I'm going to go amongst these black folks, even though I despise them. They give me the willies. But I'm going to go ahead and swallow all of these years of racism and go and show up. Even though the black woman didn't show up, which is Kamala Harris, at least that's what she's claiming. So let's see how it went. I'm sure they're going to be like, thank you for coming down here. In spite of all of these rumors about you being a racist, look at you. You came out to talk to the brothers. But instead, look what happens, guys.
I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir.
You mean the elephant that you just brought in the room? The elephant that you just walked in that room? You're the elephant. See, that's the crazy part about it. They work for the Democrats. They're trying to pretend that the elephant was just there and they're recognizing it. No, they brought the elephant. So now look at this opening. Look at this tone that she has. Unbelievable.
A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have
a lot of people? Like who? Like who? See, this is the problem. Her nasty butt just comes out, makes this blanket statement without qualifying it, quantifying it, nothing. A lot of people think that you shouldn't have been here today. Who is a lot of people? Because I'm sure a lot of people think he should have been there. And I'm sure if he would have turned it down, you guys would have said he's a racist for not coming. Now, isn't that odd? So the race game is interesting. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And normally Republicans try to steer away from playing the race game, but yet the Democrats always say Republicans are racist. They're always dividing us because of race. They're always trying to interject racism into something. I'm going, no. We would prefer not to even bring up race, sex, gender, or none of that stuff. But because you guys use this mess as a weapon and as a shield, we have to talk about it now. See, so here she goes with her nasty, loaded, race-baiting questions.
pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from.
No, he didn't tell them to go back. They're welcome to go back because they hate our country. They ain't on it. They're Marxists. They're Democrats, socialists. But no, nonetheless, let's keep going with these loaded questions.
You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked.
See, notice what she's doing though. Once again, remember, whole strategy, racism. That is why they pick people of color to do their dirty work, because it shields them. It bubble wraps them. It shields them from criticism. When you realize that these folks are evil and they're doing foul stuff, instead of folks looking at their behavior, these people step in and say the only reason that you're even questioning them, labeling them, talking about their behavior is because of their race. So now, don't be objective. Don't sit back and say, well, yeah, that woman is nasty when she tried to get Trump to pay almost $500 million, then threatened to go after his property. Yeah, she is foul. She is nasty. Oh, I can't say that because she's black. If she was white, if she was whatever, her behavior is what, warranted that type of response. But see, they don't want you to look at the behavior. So now here she is, black. She's always sliding that in for some reason. See, she wants to make the audience believe his criticism stems from them being black.
Black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist.
Oh, you mean like the one was in the White House talking about but that the White House supports slavery? That the White House supports slavery? Stuff like that? People like you. These are dumb, stupid questions. You deserve that statement as well. So here she is trying to say, well, you've referred to black people that is asking stupid and dumb questions well, you brought it on yourself. See, me as a black man, I would say the same thing. But because these people are nasty and they're race baiters, and this is a political strategy, Trump now has to deal with this garbage.
You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Now, you know, this whole question was designed to put him on the spot and to undermine his appeal to black folks, to paint him as a racist. That's the whole strategy. Whatever network she works for, her whole goal, she ain't even polite, ain't even respectful to the fact that this man is the former president and he's the leading candidate. She's basically making statements, not asking questions. She's not saying, what did you mean when you said this? Why did you criticize these people? Was it because they're black or was it because of whatever? She threw all those things out there as if they were facts and then tried to pretend that there's a question somewhere mixed in between that. So basically, here's all the things that we feel you've done that is racist. Now, black people, if you're watching, why would you support somebody like this? He's a racist. So Trump's response is magnanimous. Give it to a Trump.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you?
That's not her style.
Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network.
Get him, Trump.
And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money, they were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing.
Now, here she is with that loaded question, trying to imply that Trump is a racist. What kind of racist is that? Is he a part-time racist? He only practiced racism during the week. On the weekends, he's not. Yeah. All of the things that he has done while president and before he was president for black folks, apparently none of that counts. She never wants to introduce any of the evidence that will combat the narrative that Trump's a racist. She's not going to say, in the past, you loaned money to black entrepreneurs in New York when they couldn't get loans. And then when they came back to pay off their loan, you told them, go run your business. And they were free without paying back the loan. She didn't say that. She didn't say in the past, you sponsored Jesse Jackson's both campaign, financed his campaign to run for president. And then he brought you into the Rainbow Coalition, whatever the majigger is, while they celebrated you. And all of your efforts and all of your help when it come down to black employment, all of that stuff, they celebrated you. She's not talking about that. She's not saying in the past when Jennifer Hudson's family members got killed, you're the one that called her up in the middle of the night and say, hey, listen, I heard about what happened to your family. You know what? How about you go stay at one of my hotels as long as you need and get yourself together? Where was Joe Biden? Where was Camille? Where was all the Democrats? They didn't rush to her aid. It was Trump that did that. And he didn't even go public with it. He didn't come out and say, look what I've done. Well, none of that. Why isn't she bringing up these things? Oh, is it because they're race baiters and they want every person of color to look at him as a racist and totally overlook all of the overwhelming evidence that would, of course, exclude this narrative that he's a racist? They don't want any alternative information. So there she is now, trying to paint him as a racist, don't want to know nothing about the policies. Just open straight up with racism.
And nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that.
I do. Because she works for the Democrats. She works for Harris. She wants to see you lose. They've been doing this for 8 years. Every single chance they get, they want people to think the worst of his intentions. Anything that he says, no matter what it is, no matter how true it is, they want to insert race somehow. That's why I despise him. Race is one of the worst things you can use when you are dealing with a nation. It makes people hate each other, makes people suspicious of each other. I mean, these are things that you wouldn't do and shouldn't do to your own citizens. You shouldn't do it. But the Democrats do this mess because they have no policies. They can't defend their positions or arguments, none of that stuff. So they do this stuff because they don't care about the people. If you cared about the people, you would want unity. You would want patriotism. You would want everybody working together just in case an outside enemy tried to hurt us. All of us would be on one accord. We wouldn't be saying, let the white dudes go off and fight. Let the black dudes go off and fight. Man, I ain't trying to defend them. Everybody would come together and say, look, man, we're Americans. But the Democrats don't want to let us all view each other as Americans, as we can see. Here she is, opens up with the elephant in the room.
Let me go a step further. I was invited here and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here.
But why would she need to come when she got the media to fight her battles? I mean, they're doing what they did to Joe. They want to keep this woman just on the campaign trail where she has no opposition, no questions, no scrutiny. Get out there, say whatever she wants, keep it moving. Shit, they don't want her coming in there, especially Harris is in there, Harris Faulkner. I mean, she might be the only somewhat legitimate anchor or person in there, you know. And so they don't want her to come under any type of scrutiny or any questions that might expose how raggedy Chameleon is. So she bails out on it. Trump has the guts to go in to the lion's den. Now, you already knew. When he walked into there, it was going to be hostile in regards to some of the journalists, so-called journalists, which are really activists. He knew it was going to be hostile. But this nasty, I'm embarrassed for her coming out asking something that stupid.
It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand.
Get her, Trump.
I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something
Mr.
was
President,
wrong.
I would love
I think
for you
it's
to
a
answer the
very
question on
nasty
your rhetoric
question.
and why you
I have
believe that
answered the
black voters
question.
should trust you with another
I have been
years.
the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act.
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
That means get your stuff together. Yeah, y'all coming out straight up disrespecting your nasty attitude, your tone. You can tell this woman hates Trump. You can tell. I mean, no respect whatsoever. Now, as much as I despise creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe, I would respect the office if I had a chance to talk to him or interview him. I can get my point across without coming across as his personal. Same thing with the cackler. If I had a chance to interview her, I wouldn't be like, so in the past, you said that Joe Biden was a segregationist. And then in the past, all of that mess is unnecessary. It shows that you have a motive and an agenda and it's personal. You want to come across as hostile towards him because you want all of these so-called minorities to realize that this man is the enemy and he deserves this type of treatment. I'm not going to respect him. My whole goal is to try to destroy this man and paint him as a racist, not to get answers, not to come to solutions, none of that stuff. So she is hostile. Just like Trump said, the enemy, the media is the enemy of the people. She's a perfect example of that. But guys, it goes off the rails from there.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire.
Oh, I'm one of them. I'm one of his supporters that feels that, okay? Notice what she's doing. Labeled her the first Black American female to run for president. Now she's dropping all of those characteristics out there. She's laying it out there. Okay, so now I see where you're going with this. Now all of a sudden, you want folks to focus on whether y'all saying this about her because she's a Black woman. Don't focus on that. We don't want to define what DEI is. We don't want you guys to look at DEI outside of any context except for black. That's it. Even though DEI technically could apply to all types of people that are different, people who got this going on, people who got that, whatever group they define these people as. But they want to make folks think that this is all about blackness. All about blackness. So Trump is going to ask her, define it.
Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
No, because we're not going to stop it. I'm not going to stop it because, see, you got to defend it. First of all, DEI is supposed to be a good thing. So y'all should be going, that's right. She is DEI. That's why we need DEI. We need to keep DEI right around and all that stuff. That's the first thing. You should be loving the fact that she's a beneficiary of DEI. But now all of a sudden it's offensive. Yeah, when you say somebody's a DEI hire, because they really know what that means. It means that you didn't deserve it. The standards were bent so that you could get in. You're not qualified. They know that's what that means. But nonetheless, when you call somebody a DEI hire that they're trying to promote and polish up, then all of a sudden you're a racist. You're a racist. And I would cause them to defend it. I would say, look, what happened when she ran for president? How many votes did she get? None? Oh, okay. Okay. And yet, how did she become VP? Oh, okay. Tell me, as the VP, how now is she the front runner? How many votes did she get? None. So she's been skirting along this whole time, receiving no support, no votes, just somehow magically showing up in positions. And you want us to say that she's not a DEI hire? How many times does the Democrat Party interject race and sex into their choices when they're picking people in their cabinet? How many times the left celebrates folks not based on their skills, but based on the first black, the first woman, the first gay? How many times they do that, and y'all want us to think that DEI is not playing a factor in regards to how we set it all up and put together our cabinet and make our picks? It's you guys who are focusing on this stuff, and we are simply identifying it and calling it out.
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
Diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words.
then. Would you give me a definition of
DEI.
that? Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question.
That's her, I'm asking you a question. So now she had to come out and say diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay. What about intelligence? That's my word. I'd be like, nothing in there about intelligence, competency, nothing. It's just diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay, so if that's a good thing, why are you even questioning us whether we're saying she's a DI or not? Yeah, I thought she can go ahead and make great choices and be productive based on, diversity, equity, and inclusion. That should make you be able to be proficient at your job. But y'all didn't build that into the definition, see? So now I'm left to think that all it is I'm picking you so we can look diverse, and we can include folks that don't really need to be included. Don't need to be included. Here you are on the playground. Everybody's picking folks to play kickball. You got one kid over there that can't kick the ball. He misses the ball every time like Charlie Brown. And yet the teachers be like, go ahead over there. Go ahead. Pick Timmy for Timmy can't kick. We've been look, man. We got our team. We got our team. Look, let him play. Fine. Come on, Timmy. Nobody wants Timmy on the squad because Timmy sucks. Okay, but yet you include him. Whole time he's missing the ball, costing y'all all those things. But this is what they're doing. So apparently you ain't got to be good at your job. We're going to include you anyway. So now all of a sudden, Trump's response is beautiful because since they want to focus on race, look what he does.
Define it for me if you
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she's a black woman?
What? Only on the ticket because she's a black woman. Now notice what she did. She set herself up for the okie doke. She could have said only because she's DEI. But notice what she's focusing on. only because she's a black woman, which opened up the door for Trump to question her blackness. Since they want to play those race games, Trump played the race game. Only because she's a black woman, not just DEI. Remember, you can be Latino, you can be hand disabled, you can be all these things under DEI, but she wants to focus on black woman because guess what? Trump needs to be racist in the eyes of the public. So since she tried to go ahead and insert because she's a black woman, look what Trump does.
Well, I can say, no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage. And she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black. And now she wants to be known as black. So,
yeah, man. How you like that? Jiu-jitsu. You see Trump rolling over, fighting off his back. Loving it. So now, the chameleon just did what chameleons do. Change colors. So now all of a sudden he's like, look, man, I didn't even know she was black. I mean, for the longest, I thought she was Indian. Now he done inserted the question. Changed the narrative. What? Black? I didn't know she was black. Oh, okay. Since when did she start identifying as black? So now, for all of those black people out there, now you got to have this in your conscience. If you are one that is duped by simply the media coming out and telling you, y'all got to support her because she's a black woman. Now, here's Trump going to bring to the attention of everybody, did she claim her blackness? Or did she just simply become black when it was convenient? I'm just saying. Only Trump is bold enough to do that. Now, some would have steered away from it. Some would have been scared. Some would have been like, I'm not going to question her. It is her choice. Whatever she identifies as, that she's a black woman. Not him. He's like, oh, she black? What? When did she become black? Last I checked, she was Indian when it was convenient.
I don't know. Is she Indian or is she black?
She's always identified as a black woman.
Now see. You see her lawyers. You see her PR firm. She's always identified as a black woman. She's always. Is that your job to do that? I mean, you done asked the loaded racist question already. You already put it in a context that, are you saying that because she's a black woman? You said that. Now you opened up the question. What, is she a black woman? Now you got to defend that. Well, she's always identified as a black woman. Has she? How do you know this, lady? Are you able to fact check this real time? So here we go.
Either one. I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be
pow! Right in the kisser. Obviously, she don't respect it. I mean, just a minute ago, you was claiming you was Indian. Bollywood and all. Now, all of a sudden, your sister. Yeah, Democrats, that's their style. You know, Joe Biden grew up in a black church when it's convenient. To synagogue when it's convenient. All these other things. Elizabeth Warren, she was an Indian. And Paul and Ma got married, and their parents didn't want them to be married because she didn't want him marrying an Indian. And I got high cheekbones. Things like that. They always claim to be something else if it benefits them. And in this case, all of a sudden, miraculously, she start focusing on being black. So let's go ahead and explore this because the media is saying Trump's lying on her.
Here's what we're going to cook today.
Okay. Look at this.
Is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Indian
because
recipe.
Yes.
you are
Yes.
Indian.
Yes.
No, yes. You should go, whoa, sister. Hold up there, soul sister. Don't be calling me no Indian, okay? All right, now, you know what I'm saying? I'm half Indian or I'm half Jamaican. And see, if you want to be real about it, you got to figure. Her father is Jamaican, which some think that maybe he was somebody who moved to Jamaica and still was Indian. But nonetheless, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. He's Jamaican, okay? Her mother is Indian, okay? Black Americans are the only black folks that say, we're black. We're black. Folks from Africa, they don't come here and say, I'm black. They say, I'm African. folks from Jamaica. I'm Jamaican. Black Americans say we're black. So it's almost like we created a whole different, species of black folks. We're black folks because we're black Americans. And we can't claim another country or nothing like that. So we're black. But you don't see other black folks from other, countries coming in saying, I'm black. They just say, I'm this or that. Her father's Jamaican. I'm sure he don't feel the need to say, I'm black. If he is Jamaican, a black colored Jamaican, he would just say, I'm black. He would just say, I'm Jamaican. He don't need to say, I'm black. Same thing with her mother. Her mother's Indian. But now all of a sudden, here's Kamala. Now she's talking about some, You see that head shaking? Say it. Let's see it again. Let's see it again.
I'm a black person.
Just to be clear, what we're going to cook today is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
Wait a minute. How you gonna be an Indian and you up there cooking curry and stuff? What happened to the collard greens? What happened to the collard greens and stuff she be washing in the bathtub? How did you learn to cook collard greens and soul food and all of that stuff? How'd you learn that? I mean, your mama that diverse? How did your Indian mother teach you how to cook collard greens in the bathtub? Is it because this woman's fake? And I hope black folks can see through it.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that.
Oh my God.
I don't know if everybody knows that. Okay.
It's because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
Certainly, you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
No. You need to be checking this guy. You need to be going, now wait, hold up there, buddy. I'm not all Indian, okay? I identify as a black woman. That's what I do. But no, not her. What did she say? Yes, I'll take it. Yes. So let's finish hearing her declare she's an Indian.
Not good.
California, Kamala Harris becomes the first Indian American.
Controversialness of the claims about Vice President Harris's identity will probably make the most headlines. But I think it's important to note that his claims on that subject are also false.
Now here comes the cavalry. The same cavalry that's been celebrating her, praising her, talking about she's a black woman and black folks are getting on board and she's really going to draw the black folks in and black folks are supporting her and all of that and the black vote is important. All of that. Now notice, she needs to be black because the Democrats have been bleeding black folks. Been bleeding them. So of course, she's going to attach herself to the blackness. Plus, not only that, when Joe Biden said he was going to pick a VP and they were asking, are you going to pick a black VP? Well, Kamala Harris is like, well, dang on it, I'm going to have to change colors. I'm going to have to go ahead and do what I do. The chameleon got to become what she got to become. So it was beneficial when I was running around telling them I'm the first Indian senator. But now all of a sudden, since the black people want a black VP, now I'm black. Now, don't focus on the Indian part of me. Now, this guy comes out to the rescue.
He said that Vice President Harris has only turned black a couple years ago, and before that, she was only promoting her Indian heritage. That is just not true.
Just not true.
Because you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know
Just not true. Did that little pipsqueak see this?
that everybody knows that.
Have had that conversation about her policy views.
Uh-oh. Now look at this chick, Caitlin Collins. Got the nerve to try to get a Republican on her show not to ask him about policies. No, that's not what they bring Republicans on here for. They want him to defend Donald Trump and all of his racism. That's what they do. Yeah, first thing they do. I like to open up by asking you about Donald Trump and some statements that he said. Do you support this? Do you disavow? Do you agree with Donald Trump's racism and white nationalism? These folks are garbage, trash, pawn scum. That's what they are. So here she goes. Let's see if he takes the bait like some rhinos normally would.
How does her changing her views on her policy justify having the Republican nominee questioning her race? Does that increase or decrease your party's chances of winning in November?
Well, Caitlin, you haven't had that conversation with Kamala Harris because she's been hiding out.
I want to have this conversation with you,
just
Senator.
like Joe Biden hid out before her. And my point is, when are you and the rest of the media going to demand that Kamala Harris come out and answer questions in an unscripted format about where she stands for this country?
Did you see him hit that jujitsu move? You see him hit her with the rollover? Put her on defense? Let's see how she handles it. Because see, by now, normally, jellyback Republicans would be going, yeah, I don't agree with that. I disavow whatever I got to do. I don't want to be called a racist. Please don't do that. I don't want to be. Look what he does to her, though. Ooh, this is beautiful. All Republicans need to check this out. It's a training tape.
Opposed to continuing to focus on what Donald Trump said today. 4 years ago, Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black.
Oh, now you don't get no racist, more racist than that. Look at that. But remember, how does focusing on her race to have anything to do with her policies? Yet you got Joe Biden coming out saying, I don't need to come to New York. For what? If you don't know who you voting for by now, you ain't black. How you like that? When the black man wanted to know more about Joe Biden's policies, their Democrat fearless leader, yeah, you know what he did? Brushed him off. Said, I don't need to come to New York. We've already settled this thing here. Okay, I showed up on your little black talk show. I pandered a bit to you. And then left you with the ultimate insult. And yet you're talking about how this focusing on your race has to do with anything with them. Democrats do that constantly. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Now, you know right now, her audience is probably like, oh, yeah, he did say that. And she's probably thinking, oh, I didn't expect him to bring that up. And yet I got the nerve to be up here that Trump questioned whether she was black or not.
Imagine a more insulting comment. Joe Biden is presuming to judge the political views.
Oh, there it is. They're in the ear. Get out of there. Get out of there. Stop them. Stop them. We don't want our audience to realize that we are propagandists and we're overlooking the real race-baiting party. Yeah, we don't want that to happen, so stop them.
Of 1/8 of our fellow citizens based on their skin color. Did you ever ask Kamala Harris to condemn his remarks?
There are
Did you ever ask
33.
him or ask her if that was
Senator,
racist?
this is a question. You're a
Did you ask-
Republican
did you ask-
senator, so
did you
I would
ask-
Look at her, trying to interrupt him. He's giving it to her. He's tenderizing those ribs. She brought this on herself. Remember, you asked for this. You asked for this. You're the one brought up race, trying to infer that Trump is focusing on race. Republicans would rather focus on policies. It is the Democrats. I have the challenge for them. The challenge is, show me a Democrat that could come out and go 5 minutes without bringing up race. That's their whole weapon. Soon as they come out, I would just disarm them immediately in any debate. Before we get into this, let me go ahead and say this. Most likely, I'm going to be what? A racist, a sexist, a xenophobe, a homophobe. So let's get that out the way. Let's get that out the way. Call me all the names you're going to call me and accuse me of, okay? Can we start the debate? No, let's get it out the way so we can talk about policies, okay? Because once you get finished calling me all of these things that we know you're going to do because this is all you have, then you're left to defend your raggedy behind policies. They need to go ahead and start calling these folks out. Boy, I tell you, and he's doing it.
You about the Republican,
did you ask Caitlin? Did you ask Kamala Harris? Caitlin, did you ask Kamala Harris why she's willing to serve as vice president for a man she essentially called racist and segregationist?
I love that right there. Yeah, man. How did you overlook all of that racism in Joe? Since you're so sensitive to race. Kamala, remember? And that little girl was me. You know what? I couldn't ride the bus. And I knew a little girl who couldn't get on the bus because it was her. The little girl was her. Feed him, mommy. That's all she wanted. Yeah, man. So now all of a sudden, how is it that that woman who is allegedly black and very sensitive to racism called Joe Biden a racist and overlook all that racism? Very interesting, Caitlin. How are you going to respond?
Have you or anyone else in the media asked Kamala Harris those questions?
Okay,
At one point,
yeah, that's what it was. That was one of those, okay, you got me on that one. Yeah, I probably should have kept my mouth shut, but I got an assignment. I have to come out and try to, focus on race, paint Trump as a racist. Keep him on the defense, defending that he's not a racist. That's what we want. We want to keep Kamala isolated and not have to debate. We want to do her dirty work. We want to be her hitmen and women. That's what we want to do. If we could keep all the attention on Trump and his white nationalism and his racism and all of that stuff, then Kamala doesn't have to come out and defend her raggedy record. Oh, look at this lady.
It seemed like people were some were laughing. Then they were clearly upset. How did the audience receive him? And did that sort of shift in those first few minutes?
Yeah, you are right. They were very responsive to first his attack, but there were also some, laughs throughout the course of the 35 minutes. There were audible gasps at one point, especially when he talked about Vice President Kamala Harris not being black, which was, I think, to a room full of black journalists was sort of off-putting, but also like confusing as well.
Why was it confusing? What's confusing is how she focused on being an Indian in the past. Now all of a sudden she's black. That's confusing. She could clear it up for all of us. She could come out and say, well, back then when I was claiming my Indian heritage, it was benefiting me. Yeah, I was proud to be known as the first Indian senator appointed. I was proud then. But then when it became convenient for me to be viewed as black, then I decided to say, well, I'm black. I got enough melanin in my skin. I can pass for it. Yeah, that's what she could do. She could come out and just be honest about it. But instead, she's trying to juggle it. When it's easy for me to be Indian, I'll be Indian. When it's more convenient to be black, I'm black. You can't have it both ways. Okay? All right? You can't feel like a nut one day and one day you don't. So it's not confusing to me. And Trump is saying, y'all want to play the race game? Y'all want to focus on her being black? Is she black?
Well, she has always presented herself as black, but
has she always presented herself as black?
It was very interesting. The crowd was very responsive.
Yes, I mean it was. Because at one point I did hear some laughter.
My mother,
let's see.
Who raised me and my sister, was a proud woman.
Wow. Now this is CNN. Okay. How Harris' Indian roots shaped her political views. It doesn't say how Harris' black roots shaped her political views? No? Huh. Interesting.
She was a brown woman. She was a woman with a heavy accent.
And her mother, Shamla Gopalan, was also the biggest influence in Kamala Harris's life.
What? The answer is absolutely yes, Joe.
After the big announcement, Harris's sister wrote in a Twitter post, "You can't know who Kamala Harris is without knowing who our mother was."
Tell us.
In 1958, a precocious 19-year-old Indian, Gopalan traveled thousands of miles from her home and family to pursue a doctorate in nutrition and endocrinology in America.
Yeah.
She soon became an active civil rights crusader while studying at UC Berkeley.
And that's when she had baby Chameleon. There you go. Feed him, mommy. Feed him. Yeah, the one that escaped while mom was out protesting somewhere, maybe down in Alabama or something. She got out of that little stroller and went to missing. And when mom and them caught her and said, "What do you want, baby Kamala?" Baby Kamala looked up at her mama and said, "Feed him. Feed him, mommy." That's what had happened. Let's continue hearing about her black roots.
Once she went there, she almost felt...
That's definitely a black uncle. There you go. I don't know how he's faking that Indian accent, but that's sure enough got to be a brother.
See, and she took part in politics. She used to bring a whole series of literature, leftist literature from Karl Popper's...
I can't understand the word he's saying. Geez, oh man. He went all the way in on the accent, didn't he?
Great philosopher.
In her book, Harris says, "There is no title or honor on earth I'll treasure more than to say I am Shamla Gopalan Harris's daughter."
Wow.
Harris's visits to India with her mother kept her connected to her roots. Her grandfather...
Her roots. Well, look at that. They're not talking about her black roots. See, I don't feel like I need to go to another country to be connected to my roots because I was born in America. Yep, black. Generation after generation of black folks. There it is. I don't feel connected to another country. I'm not a first generation black man where I'm going, you know what? Both parents got an accent because they came straight from another country. that might limit your black experience, even if one of them is black. Because culturally, Jamaicans are different. Africans are different, especially if you're first generation. Yeah, you haven't had time to come in and marinate. You know, you're not 2 or 3 generations removed to where, yeah, you might get blended in with East St. Louis, you know, Chicago, places like that. She had direct influence, both of her parents, one from Jamaica, one from India. I highly doubt if she was getting a real black experience. Now, maybe as she started school, she probably hung out with some black folks and then, of course, you know, tried to blend in and all. But even when she talks, it doesn't appear that she's naturally, you know, intertwined into the black culture. It just seems like she's able to adapt. That's why I call her the chameleon. You know, one minute she's using the King's English. Hello. The next minute she's out there using Ebonics. What up, y'all? Because she's a Democrat and she's a chameleon. So now, let's go ahead and finish listening to CNN highlight her Indian roots.
Father, who had strong views on humanitarian issues, worked closely with officials to reallocate refugees. Their conversations had a strong influence on her.
Those walks along the beach in India really planted something in my mind and created a commitment in me before I even realized it.
So fake. This chick, man, if she wins, I mean, I'm done. I'm done. If people fall for this garbage, she is pure 100% fake and trash.
That has led me to where I am today.
Harris's maternal uncle, Gopalan Balachandran, who lives in Delhi, tells us how the senator turns to her Amma, which means mother in Tamil, for guidance even after her death.
I don't have to tell her, make your mother proud. She said, what are you telling me? Everything that I do, I ask myself.
Yeah, how many black families, you know, have that type of accent? And then the other half of her black family be like, what you talking about there, boy? Don't be coming there telling me that there, boy. Come like that. With a boy like me, bad, pop, pop, pop. So she somehow escaped both of those accents. I don't understand. But yeah, I don't know how much of black American this guy is right here.
Would Amma approve of this?
Kamla in Hindi means lotus flower and is an important symbol in Indian culture, rooted deep in the bottom of the river. Very similar to Harris's Indian identity.
Indian identity? Hold up. Wait a minute. We just heard CNN say, now she's always identified as black and that's just not true. She's always been black. Well, why are y'all up here talking about her Indian identity? I mean, it's almost as if they forget they do these type of reports. Isn't that crazy? Or do they just hope that the dummies out there that jump on board with this identity politics crap will not go back and dig up these receipts? And that's why I'm here, to show it all. Before all these people of color jump on board and defend her being a black woman. And Trump said this, and how can he say this? He's a liar. He's questioning her black. Oh, CNN said that she was Indian? Oh.
She wears on her sleeve.
Wears on her sleeve. Her Indian heritage, in which she wears on her sleeve. So was Trump right when he said there was a time where she was highlighting her Indian heritage? She was touting the fact that she was Indian, and all of a sudden she's black. Was he right? Yes, he was.
No doubt that the primary source of learning for Senator Harris was from her mother's experiences and the conversations that she had with her maternal grandfather when she visited India, which was very often accompanying her mother, or when the grandparents would visit them in America. Back to you, Rosemary.
David, you know, what did we see? What was the point of making a whole thing about whether Kamala Harris was Indian or black when she's both, and frankly has always openly discussed that she's both? What was the point of that?
Yeah. What was the point of that? Now, I guess I don't know what his political affiliation is. I see him on CNN often. Apparently, if he is supposed to be the Republican spokesperson, he doesn't have a spine. He doesn't have a spine. Because watch him try to straddle the fence. Now, this woman asked, what was the point of that? Well, then, how did we even get to that? I mean, what made Trump bring that up? See, this is the stupid stuff. What made Trump bring it up? Did Trump open up talking about race? I mean, from what I saw, the race baiting, anchor woman opened up. Let's deal with the elephant in the room. You've been known, and then asked him about. Now, do you say this because she's a black woman?
Yeah, Aaron, I'm not quite so sure what the point is. Indian, black.
Exactly. In a real normal world, it wouldn't be a factor. It wouldn't be a point unless you guys keep bringing this garbage up. And now all of a sudden y'all acting like Trump just brought it up. I don't know whether she's black or Jamaican. If they would only operate like that all the time, we wouldn't have to deal with this kind of crap.
Her race is irrelevant.
Defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Oh, well, who brought that up again? I just had to remind him how we got here. Why Trump had to address this issue.
Her gender is irrelevant. Her performance is one.
Her gender is irrelevant. That because she's a black woman. All he has to say is Democrats focus on this mess all the time, and yet when we say, you guys focus on this too much, and we bring it up, then all of a sudden, we're sexist. Why are we focusing on gender? Why are we focusing on race?
What I want to talk about. Her positions are what I want to talk about. And he should have delved into those. He should have said, listen, when he was asked what he did for why should black Americans listen or trust him now, he got into it a bit and talked about, funding HBCUs and the First Step Act.
And the problem is, as he tried to go into that, what did the race baiter do? Try to bring him back over into race. Keep him on race. Keep him on race. We want to make sure we want to keep him defending himself about racial issues that aren't real issues. Yeah, focus on that. Don't let him get out there and highlight how raggedy Kamala Harris is on her policies, her record, and all of that. So Trump would try to go off into other issues and topics, and they would try to get him right back on race. But this guy, he apparently doesn't see that.
And lowest unemployment, African community. I mean, empowerment zones, things that his administration did. Stick to the facts. Trump had a good record. The president had a good record as president with the African American community. He should have spoken about that. Don't get down and get in these petty grievances about things that are irrelevant. Well,
that wasn't getting down and getting to a petty grievance. Apparently, this is an important issue. The commentator brought it up. She's like, yo, you need to tell your folks to stop even mentioning DEI. And well, what is DEI? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Well, so then is that true? I mean, are you saying that she's not qualified to be president as a black woman? I'm glad you brought that up. Now we see what your diversity, equity, and inclusion is really implying. It's implying that I'm racist, and the fact that we're saying she's not qualified all stems because we just don't want to see a black woman get into office. So since y'all want to highlight her blackness to attract the black vote, then now I'm going to go ahead and drop a bomb in it. Is she black? Or is she a chameleon? And they don't like it.
When we're talking about Kamala Harris's dissent, we're not talking about the things that matter to people.
Thank you. Thank you. Because look, I got to remind him again.
Sir, do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Bingo. Not even important. But yet, that woman brought it up. And these people on CNN are pretending that now all of a sudden you shouldn't be talking about that stuff because it didn't work out like we planned. We thought that Trump was just going to go ahead and try to defend himself about this and this and that, but he just flipped it all the way on them. Now all of a sudden they don't want to talk about race. It's not important.
Her policies talk about whether she's for fracking, what that's going to mean to the people in Western Pennsylvania. Whether she wants to take your guns away. And
we all know that.
Let's have a debate on the merits.
We would love to.
I would have challenged. I would say, listen, you're a journalist in this room. No one's asked her a question yet since she's been the candidate. I hope you ask her some really tough questions moving forward. I think it was a missed opportunity.
I don't. I think it was a wonderful opportunity, and I commend Trump for doing it. To shut down these folks trying to use race as an issue. Put them on defense. Bring it to the consciousness of all these folks that's jumping on the she's black bandwagon. Give them something to think about. Give them something to Google and research, even though Google will probably suppress all of that. You'll Google that, is Kamala Harris Indian? And it'll come up, Donald Trump's a white nationalist who claimed that she wasn't black. That's probably what would come up. It wouldn't show you all of the footage that I'm showing you about her going, yeah, I'm Indian, See?
There's no question. I mean, in a sense, Aisha, that's true. And David obviously is
Watch
giving,
this.
you know, his analysis as something.
Y'all ready for this juggle? Y'all ready for the Look at this.
Somebody, you know, who sees the politics of this and the policy of this very differently than you do. But instead, you know, we're actually now, he's saying, well, she was Indian and then she turned black. Is that how we put it? So just to go back here, I know, David, your frustration, but then we have to fact check it, which is back when she was running last time, did she indeed identify only as Indian heritage or not? And so back in 2019.
Now this hurts. Here she is. Now she know people are going to Google this and call them out for it. So now she got to go ahead and address it, but then put a spin on it. Y'all ready for the spin? She got to put the spin on it. She can't just come out and say, yes, she did say that. Therefore, she's contradicting her current racial status. It does seem like she's flip-flopping. Yeah, Trump was right. So watch her juggle this.
Here's what she said about being black.
I'm black.
Because you are Indian.
Yes.
And I'm proud of being black.
Very similar to Harris's Indian identity, which she wears on her sleeve.
Absolutely. And I was born black, I will die black. And I'm proud of being black.
And certainly could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history to take quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, you know why she was black? Because she was sitting on a black radio show. That's why she was black. It's just like Joe Biden. He's Catholic when he's talking to Catholics. Yeah, he's Baptist when he's talking to black folks in a black church. He's eating hummus and singing Havanishka when he's hanging out with the Jews, wearing a yarmulke summer. He's out there jamming to Guantanamera when he's down with the Puerto Ricans. He's whatever he has to be, just like Hillary. For 1 minute she might be eating some the strudels and cavatolis. Then the next minute, she got hot sauce in her purse and she's eating fried chicken. Who knows? That's what Democrats do. So it's obvious that she's overplaying the fact that she's a woman of color and straight going with, I'm black because I'm sitting here and I'm talking to a black audience that I need them to vote for me and support me as a black woman. It's not enough American Indians in the country, I guess, that's really going to move the needle. So instead of focusing on that, I don't get as much glory. I can't really be thrown in the victimized category and be bubble wrapped as an Indian American. So I need to go ahead and play up, I'm black. That's why she was talking about how much weed she was smoking, because that's what black people do. Yeah, that's why she dropped it on him. Like, yeah, I was listening to Snoop Dogg and what's the other one? The Tupac. Yeah, Tupac and Snoop Dogg. Listen to all of that stuff, baby. Because I'm black. Yeah, probably said it like a court. I'm black. Is that black enough for you? Huh? Did I smoke enough weed for you? Did I go ahead and bring up enough rappers? So that you can go ahead and say, well, she got to be black. She knows rappers. And she smoked weed. So, of course, here she is, focusing on, I'm black. But yet, all these clips inserted in there where she was saying, I'm not
going to make any excuses.
I ain't going to make no excuses.
Because they don't understand. I find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like...
Kamala Harris is what? Because just a second ago, I thought she was black. I just saw her on Charlemagne, Insane in the Brain, talking about, come on, Charlemagne, I'm black. I'm proud to be black. Okay. I love being black. I'm black as they come, baby. You know what I'm saying? You dig? Give me 5. On the black side. Yeah. Up high. Down low. Too slow. All of the black stuff. So here she is, though. This woman saying, everybody is like, did you know she was Indian? And she's not going, actually, sweetie, I'm not Indian. Actually, I'm black. What is she doing? It's convenient now because guess what? She's talking to an Indian. Yeah, that's what she's doing. So therefore, she's Indian.
Our thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian.
Yes.
But actually...
We're both what? we're both what? Indian? Wait a minute. Does Charlemagne know that? That's my question. Does CNN know that? This woman just said, yeah. So we're both Indian.
Actually, we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
I've been telling people we're related already,
Yeah.
so this is perfect. It's basically true.
She's always been
Aaron,
black.
you can go.
Hide from that.
Yeah, but I would say equally, go back and pull the tapes. Look at the Sacramento Bee, which is, I think, the paper record in California. It touts, first Indian American senator sworn in the Senate in 2016. I mean, there are some articles out there that you can hang your hat on that says that she.
So how do you explain that, CNN? Y'all ready for this one?
Southeast Asian descent, and really played that part up. And look, she's mixed. She's mixed race.
David, I mean, I think
both.
you agree with me when I say that she's both. Right, she's both. Right, she's whatever at any moment.
She's whatever. That's exactly what she is right here. Y'all see that? If you're not looking at the screen, take a snapshot. Look at it. That's what she is. As they're sitting here saying, yeah, she's whatever. She's both. She's both. She's whatever. Now, that isn't helping her case. What that sounds like is she's whatever she needs to be because she's a chameleon.
Like anybody, when you think about where you came from, sometimes you feel more one thing.
Listen,
now y'all, I got some white in my family. Y'all know that? There's some, like my great grandmother on my mother's side. Her father and mother, her mother was black and her father was white. So therefore I'm white. I'm white. I mean, we're all mixed up. I'm going to identify with my whiteness because I need some of that white privilege they've been talking about. Y'all heard of that? I've been hearing about some white privilege going around, and I would like to apply for mine. Oh, no, don't look at the skin complexion and tone and all that stuff. No, don't look at that. I got one the drop of blood, what's the 1 trillion amount of black whiteness in me? That's enough? Okay. That's enough. So therefore, I'm white. Give me my white privilege. Out of the way, peasants. White man coming through. Okay? Yeah. So here she is now saying, oh, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. We're all mixed up. And she can be whatever. That's how they tried to address the fact that she was out there claiming she was Indian. And now they got to answer for her. They got to defend her because now all of a sudden, everybody wants to focus on she's the first black woman running for president. And black folks just wouldn't be that excited if they found out she was Indian. You see?
My ancestors.
We're not talking about ancestors. Can we just talk about how ignorant this whole conversation is? Yeah,
this is
a biracial woman in America. We're not talking about.
Oh, now all of a sudden, this is ignorant. We don't need to be talking about race. And she's a biracial woman, and you ain't got no right to be questioning no biracial and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? All of
ancestors off of a boat. We're talking about a woman whose father was a black Jamaican man.
Black Jamaican man. Okay. All right. Did he come out and say, I'm a black Jamaican? Or did he say, I'm Jamaican?
Whose mother happened to be an Indian woman. There are many people in this country who are biracial people who absolutely identify as the fullness of who they are.
So therefore, y'all aren't worried about half white and black folks. If a half white and black person just say, you know what, I'm white. Yeah, black folks would be like, oh, so you deny your blackness and all of that? There's so many of these people who dibble and dabble in race. And now she's pretending that it's stupid. We don't need to even be discussing this. And we shouldn't. We shouldn't have to be discussing this if they didn't use this crap politically. If they weren't always race baiting. I would prefer not to even talk about this crap. But it's them that are always out there bringing up race until it's inconvenient. And then you got to get in specifics. Now, frankly, I know a woman who is Indian. She looks not like Kamala Harris, but she looks black. And she's really 100% Indian. Mom and dad. Looks like a sister. All of her features. Beautiful lady. And my thing is, she, in college, hung out with all the brothers and the sisters. Nobody looked at her as Indian. They kind of just embraced her as black. She looked black. She hung around black folks and this and that. It's not really even a big deal. But because they are trying to use it as a big deal, now I want to get picky. I want to be specific. That's why I say, even though Jamaicans are black in skin tone, I mean, are they nationally black? We the only ones, to say we're black. They say we're Jamaican, and it's just implied or assumed that, well, you're black if you're Jamaican, But if you want to get technical, he's not black. See, she's trying to identify with the black Americans so she can gather our votes. So it's not just being black in skin tone. It's culturally, there's some things about being a black American that are different about being a Jamaican. So she's trying to tap in to the black folks in America that can benefit her politically. If she didn't bring this up, black folks might not even give a darn. They would look at her skin tone and be like, yeah, whatever, man, But she's highlighting it. So if you're going to highlight it, now you got to defend it. What just happened? Siri again. Go away, Siri. She's back.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
No.
Okay.
What is that crap? Stupid Siri.
President that's running for president again, that is making a mockery of the heritage of anybody is really the fine point on all of this that we should be talking about here. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, so it's Trump's fault. The guy who didn't bring up race, the guy who simply is highlighting the fact that this woman was the one that focused on race, and she was happy to be known as an Indian. But now all of a sudden, she's black? Yeah, she's mad because this backfired. Now all of them are mad because Trump brought up something that they can't deny. Yeah, it's messing with their strategy. So now all of a sudden, it's stupid. We shouldn't be looking at these things. This is offensive.
Well, I will say, Aisha, I agree with you. It is ridiculous we're talking about it and not talking about Kamala Harris's record. And President Trump put himself in that position. So instead here tonight of debating her failed policies, the Biden administration, we're talking about this. And it's a distraction. It's a distraction in the American people. And I'm sure it's a distraction in the American people don't want to keep talking about it.
I think it was great. I think Trump bringing it up was great. This guy's trying to pretend Trump missed an opportunity. No, Trump capitalized on these folks using race as a weapon.
Sir, do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Yes.
So the answer?
Yes, I do. Oh, this right here. Listen to this right here. This didn't fare well.
To your question as it relates to that, we all know when, Vice President Kamala Harris ran for, Attorney General, and you can check me on this. News outlets.
Look at her. She ready. She like, hold up. You ain't going to be messing up the narrative, right? You ain't going to, highlight the fact that Kamala Harris decided to be black recently. You ain't going to do that to me, are you? As a black man, are you?
Said she's the first Indian American. She did run as Indian American.
She did run.
Okay, and then she was chosen for the vice president nominee as the candidate for Joe Biden, and then he was told that you will get a black woman. So then she says, "Well, here is a black woman." So in all fairness, when she asked that question,
now wait a minute. Right now in this segment, can you hear me? Okay, yeah, he's off script. That's right, he's rogue. Yeah, he's damaging us. I need you to get mad. Put on the angry black woman, facade. That's right. Become the overbearing, over the top, angry, aggressive black woman. We need that right now. Activate. Watch this.
To President Trump, that's a valid, answer because that's based on her, where she was in her life, what she chose to be at that time.
Here we go.
So that's where that answer comes in. So she's the one that did this.
Look at all the rest of them. No. Even though what you're saying is a fact. No, that's not what we were told to come out and allow the audience to hear. No, that's gross. No.
She's the one.
Here she goes.
Hold on, one second. I want to just make clear. I know we're on this panel. Excuse me, sir. Do not overtalk me. I'm going to give you the opportunity to speak. Excuse me. Do not overtalk me on my program.
But he ran.
See? Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to get mad, try to shut him down. Okay, sound disrespectful. All that. Excuse me. I'm in control. Okay, that's in my program. All of that mess because he exposed the propaganda. There it is. He told the truth. And they all was like, oh, we got to stop this. And look at this. Look at this guy. Listen to this take on the black/Indian woman.
into blackness, and he felt it. He felt the heat, the unconditional love.
Whenever she shows up,
ran into blackness, and he felt it. He felt the heat, the unconditional love, the masterpiece of the black woman that only an amazing God.
I think I can smell shite.
Can take an Indian and a Jamaican and create somebody in his image, a black woman.
Yes, I can definitely smell shite.
Absolutely. That guy's 100% shite. But guys, you got to stay to the end of the live stream because I'm going to reveal what Kamala Harris really is. We all want to find out what she really is. And, you know, I think I've figured it out, okay? So, yeah, you got that guy putting a spin on it, trying to insert God into it. Put her on a level like she's divine. God looked down upon her and said, I'm going to take curry and I'm going to take fried chicken and mix it together. I'm going to... See, that's what that guy tried to do. Full of shit.
There's no evidence that her father has ever identified as a black man.
Not all the brothers are falling for it. This brother ain't having it.
Many people keep pointing out that the father looks like one of them East Indian Jamaican and saying that she always identifies as black. No, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
We're not going to play that game.
Don't play that.
Because look at articles when Kamala Harris was out here in California.
Well?
No, y'all not going to play that she was always black. No, she wasn't.
No, she wasn't.
Hold on. The Sacramento Bee. Watch Kamala Harris sworn in as the first Indian American senator.
Wow. Now, if I was just to read that, I would think she's Indian. There you go. Case closed. But somehow now, if I was to look at her and see her now, I'd be going, now, wait a minute. Did she identify now as black? I didn't know you could become a whole nother race. So once you identified as Indian, stay Indian. See, yeah, you claimed it. You accepted it. You upsold it. So just stay Indian. Why now all of a sudden, put that part away. Put that half of me away. I want you now to focus on the black side. The black side.
All right? Don't play this game. You're not going to play in our faces talking about she always identifies black. No, she didn't.
Tell him, bro.
This woman has always gave it up to the Indian side of her family. More articles. Kamala Harris becomes the first Indian American senator. All right? Progressive Indian grandfather who inspired Kamala Harris. She would always give it up to her Indian family.
Giving it up to her.
Where's all these collard greens and blues and jazz and Tupac?
Yeah,
all that stuff. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, from her Indian side. Listen, Kamala, I want to teach you how to make collard greens in the bathtub. That's where it came from. Yeah, I'm sure that Indian uncle was teaching her how to get in there and scrub those greens. I'm sure her mama somehow, in between protesting and stuff like that, figured out how to cook collard greens in the bathtub. I would challenge Kamala Harris to cook those greens, but it got to be on the spot. See, I wouldn't want her to have time to go and have one of her aides teach her or pull up a YouTube video. If I was interviewing her, I'd be like, thank you for coming into Kevin's Corner. Man, it's an honor. It's an honor to have you. I've been watching your videos, and you know what? One thing that stood out to me is how you talked about, your blackness and growing up, how you used to make the collard greens. That sounds good. It's good. You know me, baby. I be in there throwing down on some greens. You got to put a little pork chop in it. Sometimes what you got to do, you got to put a little bit of pork in it and then let it marinate when you want. Oh yeah, I feel you. I'm glad you brought it up. You mind cooking some of those for me right now? I got the bathtub filled up and I got a whole bunch of collard greens. I got all the seasonings and everything. Would you show? Matter of fact, come on, here. Come on, cameraman. Let's go into the bathroom and watch Chameleon cook us up some of them greens. That's what I would do. See her going there like, oh, well, I can't right now. I mean, you like right now? Shoot. Okay. Greens. Greens is it's a vegetable, and it's a green vegetable that grows in the grass, and then they're green. You would see her try to fuddle her way through that mess. I want to see her do it. Call her out on the spot. Go cook some of them greens right now.
This woman always gave it up for her East Indian family.
Oh.
Y'all not gonna sit here and play that game. Come on now.
That's what they're trying to do.
Don't act like we can't read. The Economic Times, the first Indian American senator in the U.S., they were big on that. That was her whole thing.
So should we take that down? Should we go ahead and remove that? Because that was historic at the time. See, it was historic at the time, but now that we know she's not black, we can go ahead and remove that. We're waiting for the real first Indian American woman to be appointed to the Senate. Because Kamala, she wasn't. She's black. You see what I'm saying? Interesting.
An Asian American, all right? So yeah, this whole seasonal blackness, the fact that you think you can dip and dodge into what blackness is, no. That right there shows that you're not a part of the lineage.
And that's exactly why they're trying to protect this narrative, because they know many black people might start to feel like you're trying to steal blackness. Yeah, it was convenient for you to be Indian back then. But now all of a sudden, you straight up trying to be down with the brothers. Are you trying to dip us into voting for you? By pretending you all the way down with the brothers and the sisters. That's what she's trying to avoid. That's what the media is trying to avoid, because that's what they're upselling to appeal to the black vote. And this brother right here ain't having it.
You're definitely not a foundational black American.
Foundation.
You definitely know that. You're not a foundational black American. And again, article after article shows her identifying as an East Indian. Okay? And that's what she is. She was raised by an East Indian mother. And that dad, many people are saying that low-key, he's East Indian too, possibly. Just because you say he's Jamaican,
there he is.
That doesn't always equate to black. And they always say her blackness is her going to an HBCU.
Yeah, that makes you black.
Rachel Dolezal went to an HBCU.
Oh, good point. Good point. Because I hear him saying that she went to an HBCU. And yet the woman who was white and thought she was black, yeah, she went there too. Does that make her black?
That don't mean anything. You see? See these games they're playing, ladies and gentlemen?
I do. And so, Judge Joe Brown is about to really reveal what Kamala Harris is, y'all. But first, he's going to give you his take on her, okay?
She's never been the boss over anything. She was nominally with the Attorney General's office, but you've got all of these egos with all of these people with doctorate of laws who've taken the bar exam, and every one of them in there could run against you in an election and be your boss, and is as qualified technically as you are to run the place. So she's never been the boss in charge of something where she dictated, because what she did in San Francisco and when she got over California is she essentially had somebody else doing it, and she was just a political figurehead.
Yeah, because see, rumor has it that she's lazy. That's why she always seems unprepared. She gets mad at her staff for trying to keep her a brush on what she needs to talk about. And then she get out there and embarrasses herself. And that's why it's hard for her to keep employees under her. And she's lazy, don't want to commit, don't want to study it. That's why she sounds like she's reading off the internet side. Ukraine, there's a small country. Didn't do the homework. So now here he is calling her out. Because see, he old. You know, he's retired from entertainment. He's like, I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm going to tell you exactly how I see her.
So when you come into this situation here, Putin, you know, Russia, Ukraine, those are serious things. They have a lot of nukes. You got Xi Jinping, and China's got one hell of a huge army, Air Force, nukes, computer systems, and so on.
We want somebody who they would take seriously representing the country. Now, do you think they would look at her and take her seriously? The cackler, laughing all over the place, fuddling up speeches. Do you think they would respect her intelligence that ain't never done nothing? They would look at her and say, you're not even a legitimate president. Not even a legitimate president if she was to be installed.
What is your experience in international diplomacy? Nothing. You got made the representative of the country to handle the foreign affairs. You failed so badly they yanked you out when you were actually the boss in charge. The borders are. You just complete abject failure to that. Your only appearance down there was to sit in a chair in the desert while they interviewed you trying to be cute.
Oh, Judge, Judge Joe, he ain't holding back, y'all. He firing into her. And I appreciate it. About time somebody keep it real.
She had a little rally in Georgia. I think 86 people showed up. That was supposed to be interesting. And she had the nerve to call Vance unpatriotic.
What?
And he came back on a big time. He said, simplify, to serve, loyalty. I was in the Marine Corps, over in the sand pile. And Trump took a bullet. What the hell have you done?
Nothing. What have you done for us lately? Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, yeah. Nothing. The judge is like, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this woman is qualified and done earned her position. I'm just showing you a quick, brief snippet of this interview. This man went in on her butt. And look, he's about to tell us what she really is, y'all. What she really is.
You know, you want to call somebody out on the subject. See, it's hypocrisy. But you see, I did this because I did what I did, and that's what I did, which is because that's why I did it. Hey, what the hell did you just say to you?
That's how she sounds when she talks. I'm going, what are you talking about? You just went around the mulberry bush.
You realize what you said? Do you know?
How you feel about her?
She's a piece of
Oh! So that's what she really is, guys. Yeah, it doesn't matter if she's Indian, if she's black or whatever. The judge went ahead and told us what she really is. She's a piece of shit. That's what she is. Thank you, Judge, for clearing that all up. So the next time CNN come out that doesn't matter what she is she's Indian or she's black. No. We know who she is. She's short. That's what she is. You want to be brown? There you go. There you go. That's your brownness right now. Yeah, short. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight in spite of all the technical difficulties that I suffered from in the beginning. I'm glad we got it worked out. Make sure you share my videos. Follow me on all the other social media platforms. I should be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. So if you ain't got nothing to do, come out and hang out with me again for a couple hours. Check out the corner store on your way out if you get a chance. And if you want to support the channel, you can through my Cash App and my PayPal. And those that gave in the super chat, I appreciate it. Thanks for all the kind words. Now let's get out of here because I got some pre-recorded videos to upload for you guys. So set your notifications to all so you'll get the notification of them. It ain't going to be with me doing a lot of commentary. It's going to be clips. You know, I find these to be helpful. Condensing some clips into like a montage where it's just something you can send straight to some people to share so they can see really what's going on with this woman. We got to fight against all of the propaganda. And I'm going to go ahead and drop some stuff out there that should put her in perspective for someone who's ignorant to what she's really about. So keep your notifications on. All right. God bless y'all. God bless America. Let's get ready to get out of here. Tomorrow's Friday, y'all. Oh, don't forget to text MAGA to that number right there, too. Okay. So with no further ado, let's bounce.
This is awesome.
I know you see the tear up the place. Yeah. Take care.